So it's Monday. Last week was incredibly hectic. I can't remember when I last recorded, but I recall saying that on Wednesday evening, my partner came round, so I spent loads of time with them, pretty much until Friday. We watched the Spider-Man movie, which was really great. I'm actually considering watching it again because it is my favorite movie. Obviously, I say that now. That may not be the case like in the future or whatever, but I just absolutely love the movie. I love the animation. I love the story. So that was probably one of the best things about last week. In addition to that, I had some meetings on Thursday. Thursday is the day I went to the cinema. And then my Friday was ridiculously busy. So I went to the department and I had a meeting with my supervision group, and that actually did go on for quite a while. We spoke about the fact that we'll be submitting our registration reports. We spoke about the fact that we would have a viva or should have a viva, but it will most likely be impacted by the marking assessment boycotts. And one, that's because people are striking, but two, it's because our research group is very much for the people who care about higher education, who care about social justice, who care about, I guess, like the labour market. So people who have that interest are way more likely to strike and get involved in striking action. But we spoke about how our PhD will progress, even if that is the case. So I'm not personally worried, and it's not something I have any kind of negative feelings about whatsoever. It's just a thing I'm aware of, and a thing that I'm actually quite sympathetic to. So that's something to keep in the back of my head when it comes to submitting, just knowing that I won't necessarily have a registration viva straight away or anytime soon afterwards. I then came back to college. I had lunch with my partner. I caught up with a friend on the phone, and then I actually went back to the faculty where we spoke a bit about statistical modelling, and I'm going to talk to my supervisor more about that tomorrow. It was a really hot day, so that was very much me cycling back and forth in the heat, and then had formal with my supervisor and supervision group, or research group. That was really enjoyable. It was a really nice way to end the day, and then I headed home. It didn't end there, which is what is really frustrating. That was a really, really tiring day. It was a really enjoyable day, but also very tiring. Over the weekend there was a symposium, which is basically like a small conference, and it was on social class, which is what I am studying, and it was on social class at Cambridge specifically. It was a fantastic event, and as soon as the recordings of it become available, I'll definitely link them in the description for this video. But it was exhausting. Again, it was this level of heat. The sessions were really long and useful discussions, but it was just sitting on a panel for about an hour and a half, and I was on 3 panels in total across Saturday and Sunday. Because that was also done in the heat, because it was so busy, I'm just really, really tired. I got to see loads of people I care about and loads of people I haven't seen in a while, and loads of people who I hadn't met before who had fantastic and really interesting ideas. But I do just think socially, physically and emotionally I am exhausted. And whilst I was really grateful to have my Sunday night, kind of just watching The Queer Ultimatum with housemates, I felt like I didn't have enough of a weekend break. And I think that's the thing about conferences and symposiums. We sometimes pretend they're not work, and they're definitely work. And I need to remind myself of that. I often think because I enjoy something, because I care about something, it doesn't count as work, or I'd be doing it anyway. But actually I wouldn't, or okay, I don't know if I wouldn't, but it means I haven't really had a restful weekend, and I have jumped into today, Monday, one, aware of how little I've done by means of writing and that type of work, but two, not fully rested, and that has been very tiring. So that is kind of something I really wanted to just share and say, because I'm aware I didn't record anything, especially with how frantic it was, and I do want to do better with recording. But also, like, I'm going to give myself a break. Like, things were so intense, I barely had a second to like respond to any messages, let alone get a camera out and record. So yeah, I'm not mad at it, I'm just tired. It's now Monday, and it's worth thinking a bit about what I have going on this week. I'm just checking my calendar. According to my, what do I call this? According to my PhD dashboard, I have got 2 weeks and 3 days until my registration report is due. I don't know, I have a feeling that I could make that, but I also have a kind of feeling that my supervisor will need more time to read through it, understandably. So as long as our timetables are cooperative, it could be sent in for that date. If not, I think I'll still be very much done with it by that date. It may just be that I get some kind of comments back and corrections very informally, in terms of just having had her kind of read through it, and give any final proofs. But I do think I'll kind of emotionally be done with it by that point. And even now, I feel like I've written more than enough to pass. Not to pass well, but I don't think I'm in like a bad state, is what I'm trying to say. So to talk about this week, it is Monday, it's about 4 o'clock. I have a formal to go to this evening, which I'm really looking forward to. It's essentially a swearing in ceremony, so people who have been elected as fellows to the college that I'm a bi-fellow at will be sworn in, and then we'll have a really nice meal. And there are people who I really look up to and I'm really excited are joining as fellows, so that's the reason I'm going. I am then, what's happening? Tomorrow's quite busy. I've got a short meeting in the morning with respect to my role as a trustee. I'm then attending a kind of online workshop about promoting your research via social media, which I think will be really useful. I'm then meeting my supervisor for a supervision, and that's where we'll talk about those statistical models. I think we'll be doing that at her college, so it'll be nice to meet her there, and I think we'll have lunch there. I am then still on Tuesday meeting with my study skills tutor, and I'll probably bring up my writing essentially. I don't think I'll bring, I'll see what I bring to the table. I then have a formal in the evening on Tuesday with some students I support, which will be really nice because their exams have finished. On Wednesday, I will be taking a photo as part of the student association. It's not really a big deal, but I think we're just going to have a formal photo taken by photographers. I'm then meeting a mentor at the Botanical Gardens just for a walk around, which will be nice. Thursday, just a few meetings. Friday should be exciting because I'm planning to go to London for an event at LSE called Smashing the Class Ceiling that has some fantastic speakers, and will be really useful for my dissertation, I hope, or my PhD, whatever. And then I'm going to a theatre with my friend in the evening. So I'm looking forward to that, and that is basically my working week. I'll try and record more, I'll keep you updated. I think, again, my goals are to stop working in the evenings, to really try to make sure I'm resting. It feels like the rest of today and tomorrow will be quite busy. But I'm hoping from Wednesday onwards I can really take things slow, enjoy my evenings, and get enough rest. I also need to do a food shop at some point. I am continuing on my gym program, which I'm really enjoying. It's still so early, but I'm really excited about. And that's how I'm spending most of my mornings. Looking forward to having a day in London just for a kind of physical change and just being in a bit of a different space, as well as actually being in a different uni. I think going to LSE will be really fun. And closer to the time, I'll talk about how I spend my weekend and how I spend my final weeks preparing my registration report. What's interesting about Cambridge is term is over. As a PhD student, that doesn't really mean anything. You kind of work all of the time, and take leave as if it were a job. but I think it does mean that from now on, libraries and study spaces will be much quieter. That being said, I think there'll be loads of students out and about in more social spaces, kind of celebrating their exams being over. I will end it there. And I am looking forward to all the free food I'm getting this week. I don't know.